Toro's heading to the golf show. Are you? Toro is a proud partner and sponsor of the GCSAA and will have a major presence on the exhibition floor at the upcoming conference and trade show. Stop by the booth in Orlando February 2nd through February 5th to experience cutting-edge technologies and brand new products. From autonomous and electric equipment to innovative irrigation and fleet management software, Toro has your back. And join us Wednesday, February 5th, where you can exclusively meet Brian and I from 1 to 3, and we will also be bouncing around the booth the rest of the day. Cannot wait to meet everybody out there.
Get up and brush off the dew on that turf today. Cut it and roll that dew on that turf today. Set up, they about to come through on that turf today. Get up, turf today, get up. Let's get out the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Turf Today, recorded on the Superintendent Network and brought to you by Toro. My name's Adam Kershane, joined as always by Brian Laurent. And this week, guys, we are bringing you a fun one. The winner of the PlayStation, the holiday giveaway PlayStation 5 winner, Bryan Hunter, the Pin Hunter, is on the Turf Today podcast. So cool. This man has got a lot for us, and we're excited. So have you been prepping at all for the tournament down south? You've been playing any simulator golf or swinging the sticks at all?
Got in a few times. Got in a couple swings here at our local simulator. It's not been great. But got some new wedges, which is nice.
Ooh. What'd you go with?
I went with one of the Callaways. I can't remember what the version is, but went and got fitted for wedges, which I've never done before.
Interesting.
And got fit into some new lofts. So I got to figure out my distances. That'll be quite the exploratory process, I guess, down in Orlando.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So, yeah. Need to spend some time figuring out how far I can hit those. And got the clubs regripped this week. So that's good. But yeah, no, that's the goal. I've got the net set up in the garage. I just haven't had time to go in and hit. I need to maybe get one more refresher lesson before I go. But
the sims are always tough, right? It's always so hard to tell what the ball's actually doing, but it is good to get some swings in.
Just get swings, man. Yeah. Have you been in there?
Just stay loose. Yeah. My buddy's dad owns this unreal spot. It has like a mini ice pad that it's real ice, and people go and use it for hockey and everything. And Will goes there for his skating lessons. They have some golf simulators, and then they have a huge gym. So it's just this, you can basically get a membership to this place and go whenever and either work out or skate or play golf. And it's been perfect. So we've been going Friday nights. I'm going with my buddies tonight. Sometimes we go for a couple hours, but tonight's just an hour. I'm just going bang some balls. And I was supposed to have a new club myself. I just after Christmas on Boxing Day, I ordered myself a 7-wood because I've had the same. Nice. I've had a 3 hybrid for 15 years, and it's done, and I'm just not really a 3 hybrid guy anymore. And my 3-wood's got a crack in it, so I'm thinking like I don't really want to replace the 3-wood and not have another club. And so I was thinking maybe I can limp the 3-wood through and get a 7-wood because it's so popular right now. And I hit one of my buddies last year, and it was sweet. So I'm like, all right. So I ordered this 7-wood. It's supposed to be on its way, and I get an email from Golf Town, is the big supplier up here, and I get the Golf Town email, and they're like, sorry, your club's out of stock. What? So I called them, and they're like, yeah, no, the 7-woods have been really popular. Like, we just had a few more online that we sold that we probably shouldn't have, and they're all gone. So you can wait for the new one if you want, but c'est la vie.
Oh.
Great. And the new ones are like over $500. I was getting this one for like under $300, so I was winning. And so We'll see.
Ugh,
We'll see. They're so expensive, golf clubs these days. It's so tough.
I know.
$500 for a club that I hit a few times around, like,
I know. I know.
it's
That's
tough.
it. Like it's spend so much money on a driver to hit it, 12 to 14 times around. Like, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you really hitting it further than your old one? Like
Yeah.
it's a tough one, but
Yeah.
we'll see. And the thing with the 7 wood is I might not love it. I might not hit it as well as I
Right.
want to, or the distance that I want to. And it's like, well, this was a waste. So, but last year I was thinking I needed a 3 iron. So now, now I'm all over the place. I don't know what to do.
The 3 iron comes in handy when you're punching out of trees. That's about the only time I've ever had to use a 3 iron. So I
Yeah.
don't even, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to use that 4 iron to replace it now.
Hmm. Seeing guys hit long irons off the tee, or you're 250 out and guys hitting a 3 iron to the green, like it looks so nice. If you hit it pure, it's such a nice shot, but
Yeah.
things can go south pretty quickly too with it in your hands.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's got to be one of the most interesting names we've seen on a Zoom call.
Baby,
Yeah, I
baby
can't even
July.
explain that. I don't even understand that. I don't know why that's there. My baby was born in July 21. I guess I haven't been on Zoom since then. Can I change? Can I change that? I don't even understand that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Oh
just
well,
leave it. It's a good talking
we're,
point.
we're off to a good start. All
There
right,
you
Oh, I
go.
love it. You got the nice artwork in the background there too. Look at
I
you.
did the, yeah, all these guys with interesting backgrounds, and I don't have one, so I got to work.
Oh, the
Love it.
irrigation map works. It shows where you are.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. We have
Nobody's
good
got one of
maps
the,
here.
nobody's got one of those on like their home office wall, right? That's all at the shop.
That's right. My home office would be crawling with children right now, so I wouldn't want to be there.
Can't
So
do that.
I picked here.
That's
Anyway,
awesome.
hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, things are good.
Outstanding.
Things are good. Yeah, we're I know down in Ottawa here, we're buried with snow, so it was interesting to see if you guys caught any of that storm yesterday or not.
Windsor is insane for missing everything. We got snow,
You got
but
it, yeah.
not even close to what London got. And that's what always happens. These storms will come at Windsor, they break up around the Detroit River, and then they reform to the east of us, and London will get demolished, and we'll get like 2 inches or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but we probably got I'd say we got about 8 inches out of the last one, that's a storm in our terms down here. So
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
shot. Oh, I was hearing from guys from Toronto yesterday, and then one guy texted me this morning, and they haven't had snow like that in years. So they're just like, we're out trying to start the snow blowers, find shovels.
yeah, yeah. I think I remembered it was during COVID. I think we had a family Zoom call during COVID, and that's why I changed that was how we announced to a bunch of
Oh,
our
that's
family.
cool.
Oh, nice, nice.
That's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I probably haven't been on Zoom on my phone since then.
I can tell that was really going to bug you that you
Yeah.
weren't able to figure that out right away.
It was. I was perplexed. I had no idea where it came from. Anyway,
That's awesome.
Well, we've been
Yeah.
taking some heat lately that we still use Zoom. Maybe we should be looking into a new platform. I don't know.
I don't know what else is there. There's Teams, but then
Yeah.
like this is easy. You can download it on your phone. It's user friendly. I don't mind this one.
Yeah.
I used to be in sales and I had to use all the different platforms, and I hated Teams. I like this better.
Yeah. No, we know this one, so that's what Brian always says.
Exactly.
We know it, may as well use it.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right. That's right. No need to. I'm getting too old to try and learn new things, so just stick with what I've got. So, Brian, welcome to the show here. Just go ahead, take a moment to tell us who you are.
All right. Well, my name's Bryan Hunter. I am currently the head superintendent at Seven Lakes Golf Club in LaSalle, Ontario, which is just about 10 minutes from Windsor, and it's about 10 minutes from the U.S. border to Detroit, actually. So I've been here 4 seasons. Prior to that, I've been a salesman. I started in turf in 2001, I guess, and at Highland Country Club. And I was going to be a superintendent. I was going to be the superintendent of Augusta one day. That was kind of, I was very, very motivated back then. I still am, obviously, but in 2012, my wife and I decided to open a garden center. So that kind of put my time on hold a little bit. I went to the garden center to help her get the garden center up and running, and I was only going to do it for a season. and then I was going to become a head superintendent somewhere. That was the plan. And then one season turned into 6, and it was really difficult to get away from the garden center because it was so demanding of us. But it also wasn't doing very well, so we eventually closed the garden center. And I did another year in sales, and then COVID hit, and that's when the writing on the wall was it's time to go back to the industry you love. And so in 2021, there was not a lot of job offers out there. So East Park in London, Ontario was hiring. It's a little 18-hole executive track connected to a go-kart and water park facility.
Nice.
I don't know, Adam, if you've ever heard of it. It's a pretty well-known like family fun center, but it started as a golf course way back in the 60s, and then it just kept expanding. First, they built a mini golf course, then they added go-karts, and then batting cages and everything. Anyway, the golf course is still it's cool because you're unloading your golf clubs next to somebody in a bikini, getting ready to go. Can be a little awkward, but it's a great little golf course. But it's a small operation, and I don't even want to guess at what the total budget was there. But I had 4 staff and part-time mechanic and everything else. And so that's when I came here in 2022. So I've been here ever since.
Nice. They come in all shapes and sizes.
They do. And you learn a little something from every one of them. I probably learned more at East Park than I have learned anywhere else, just because you had to figure it out. You had no resources, you had no equipment, and you just had to make it work. So I learned a lot there, actually.
You probably had to make a lot of good friends with the people around you too, to get some loaner equipment and all that.
Oh, for sure. And like my contacts in the business today are people I started working with then. In particular, Todd Curry at OSC, Mark Durand, who used to be at OSC, and then obviously the network of superintendents in the Southern Ontario area, because you run into these problems and you go, I have nothing. I need to find a way to fix this, and they'll come up with all kinds of solutions for you. So it's the beauty of this business is we all want to help each other. So when you're at a place where you're handcuffed by budget or equipment or labor constraints, you got to get creative, and you lean on the people around you. So
Absolutely. And speaking of that, you mentioned the garden center working with your wife. Did you not? You guys met at a golf course, right?
we did. I like to say I met her rear end before I met her. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'll explain.
Like there's a story here.
Yeah, continue.
Well, she was at Riverbend Golf Course in London, Ontario, run by currently Kevin Collier. I worked for him in his first year there. It's a huge property, so they have 400 and some odd homes there. So there's a residential crew, and then there's the golf course crew, and I was the IPM technician on the golf course crew. And to get from hole to hole, you're driving through the neighborhood. And I'm driving around. She called me the fireman because I was always driving around with the hose dragging behind me, right? And I always saw her weeding the gardens from behind. So I kept driving by this person with her bum in the air, and I said, "Hey, I'd like to get to know that girl."
She made a good first impression, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She'll be mortified that I just told that story. But,
I love it.
So I snuck into the logbook for our hours was just an old school paper and pen in a binder. I didn't know her last name, so I knew her first name, and so I went into the logbook and found her last name, and then looked her up on Facebook in true 2010 fashion, and sent her a poke. Hey, what's up? And then, and it went from there. So, and now, we opened the garden center. We've worked together. We're coming up on our 13th anniversary, and we've been together probably 15 years, and we've worked together for 10 of those years, I think.
Wow.
We work together now. She works at Seven Lakes with me now. So, yeah.
That's impressive, man. And you're still together.
I think it's a feast or famine type of a thing. There's couples that would get divorced in the first year, and then there's couples that can do it. And we've just, I think it's a testament to a strong marriage. We we just bicker and we get it out of the way. We don't
Nice.
we
Nice.
don't people will comment on how we bicker with each other. I said that's how we get along. That's how we get it out of the way. We get it done and
Yeah.
over with. We say what we need to say, and then you know we kiss each other and go to sleep, and then wake up and go to work the next day.
Yeah. I was going to say, are you able to leave work at work? Is it two separate lives, the work life and the home life?
I'd love to say yes, but no. The truth is, it's usually our hottest point of conversation is what went on at work or what's going on at work. But we do catch ourselves and we say, okay, no more shop talk. Let's talk about the kids or let's talk about whatever. Yeah. So it's tough. I mean, you know how consuming this business is from this chair. And then she's working full time in it as well. So when you come home, you want to talk about your day with each other, and that's what you're going to talk about. So it's tough, but we try to catch ourselves and give ourselves a break. And yeah, so
It sounds like the
Awesome.
kids might spend some time at the course with you guys as well.
kids are here all the time. My son loves it.
Nice.
My daughter, both kids love being here. My son is obviously he's a boy. He loves the machines. He loves getting dirty. He loves digging in the top dressing pile and all that other stuff, and loves going on rides with me on the skid steer and the excavator. And he's taken to golf. My daughter has no interest in golf whatsoever, but is perfectly happy to sit there and watch my son. So it's pretty good. I'll take my son to the driving range. My daughter will park herself behind him with her stuffies, and she's just happy to watch. We've stuck a club in her hand multiple times. I think she's a lefty. If she would even try, I think she's a lefty. So I've cut down some little lefty clubs, but she's not going to be a LPGA star, I don't think, unless something changes. But
Figure something else out for the retirement plan. Then that's
yeah.
okay.
Well, maybe my son will take to it. He loves it. It's definitely his best sport. That and swimming are his two things that he's really good at. So
Nice.
hopefully he does. Yeah.
Nice. So you got you got an early start with a familiar face for the Turf Today listeners here with Mike O'Keefe. Talk about your experience in the Ohio program.
Well, so I'll try and keep the long story short on the education side. So I enrolled in horticulture because they didn't have such a thing as a CHATS degree back then. There was no way to do a BSc in turf science, and my parents wanted me to get a BSc. So I didn't do the diploma. I did the BSc, and then as I was 2 years into my horticulture degree, Eric Lyons introduced the CHATS degree, but I had to kill a year. And so I had to kill a year so the CHATS degree could catch up to me. And so I got hooked up with the Ohio State, what I can't remember the long form of it, but yeah, the Ohio program, and met Mike O'Keefe. You've talked to Mike O'Keefe. He's a beauty. He's a tough cookie when it comes to his expectations for his interns and whatnot. So and an internship down there, I mean, they're tough. There's no question about it. It's a lot of work and the demands are high. I went to Farm Links first. That was in September of 2007. And then I would later move to Oak Hill in the spring. So they need to send me somewhere warm, right? And when I was down there, it was winter time and it was cold. It still gets pretty cold in Alabama. And I come home and there's this little shivering rat terrier sitting on my back step. And it gets, we had seen this dog around, and that part of rural Alabama has a lot of stray dogs. And so I'm a dog lover. I want to take every dog home with me because I got my one right here behind me. And so I want to take every dog home with me, but their view on it is different. They're literally out there, shooting pistols in the air, trying to scare these dogs off the golf course and whatnot. And I see this little dog and I'm like, okay, well, I can't bring it in the house. That would be wrong. Right. So I'm like, I just, put some food out for it the one day. And then of course it keeps coming back. So we start feeding it. And then the one day I come out and it's freezing cold, it's snowing and raining and kind of nasty. And this dog is cowering in the corner. And I'm like, okay, I'll just warm you up. I'll take you inside. And then I put it back out, because I can't have this dog in the house. Well, then one day it ends up in the house overnight, and then another night, and then another night, and then now this is my dog, and it's my, and I just have to not tell anybody. And the one day I'm at work and I get called into the office, and Don, the maintenance guy, had been to our house to do some maintenance on the house, and he had seen this dog, and he ratted me out. So
Donnie.
old Donnie.
Jeez.
And so I get a call from Mike O'Keefe, and he's just losing his mind on me, saying, "You're going to risk the best opportunity of your life over a damn dog." And I, and I guess he had talked to Mark Langner. So Mark Langner was the director of agronomy back then. And he's a beauty if you've ever met him. And he has two dogs of his own, and he was understanding about it, and he said, just don't let the Purcells find out. And so the Purcells might be finding out now, 18 years later, that
They're not involved
I
anymore.
had a dog. No, it's fine. They're fine. Sorry, Mr. Purcell, I had a dog in your house. But I wasn't allowed to take it to Oak Hill with me. So we got her reacquainted to the outdoors again, and I just left her behind.
Couldn't find anyone else to take her in.
It was pretty heartbreaking. No, the other interns were kind of looking after her. She's fine.
Are you looking to enhance and dress up your T-Bots with custom logos? Standard Off has multiple options for your budget and for your look. We have the wood-looking oak and timber T-markers with a dome resin decal for any color, any logo. The cast aluminum marker, perfect for practice green. I love the laser cut T-markers. They can be an 11 or 14 gauge aluminum and then powder coated to your specific color. And then the creme de la creme, the Centennial T-marker in aluminum or bronze, is a really good, classy look. And finally, the routed T-marker, you can have up to 5 different logos on that T-marker, so perfect for a conference, a trade show, a tournament, and sponsor and course logo. Custom T-markers from Standard Off.
While we're on it, any other good Mike O'Keefe memories?
Michael, well, I mean, he came the odd time to visit us, and he's just, I mean, you've heard him talk. He's just, every story, you're just hanging on every word that he tells, right? So he came down to visit us a few times, and then I got moved to Oak Hill, and geez, I can't remember. I left a week early from Oak Hill, and I was on a J1 visa. I had a 6-year girlfriend back home, which was, so I was, my heart was sad, and I had to go home and see her. Right. So I convinced Jeff Corcoran to let me go home a week early. And then Mike O'Keefe got a hold of that and wasn't too happy with that. He thought I should have stayed my whole time. And then I get to the border, and you've got this, it's called a DS 2019, I think is what it's called. It's stapled into your passport, and you're supposed to surrender this thing when you go over the border, and you're supposed to tell the border guard, my visa's done, I'm done, and you need to take this. And I guess they're physically supposed to remove it from your passport. So when I got to the border, he said, are you heading home for a visit? And I said, no, I'm done. My visa's done. I made sure I said it. And of course, you're at the border, so you're kind of nervous, like, are you going to get pulled into secondary or whatever? So my mind's swimming. So I said, yep, I'm done. My visa's done. I'm going home for good now. And so he takes my passport, he hands it to me, and I remember he says, welcome back to Canada, Glenn, which is my middle name. And that's why it stuck out, because he says, welcome back to Canada, Glenn. And then I was just like, oh, thank God. Okay. And off I go. Well, I didn't realize he hadn't taken this damn card out of my passport. And I didn't touch my passport for months after that. So I get this call from Mike O'Keefe. I can't remember where I was working, but he's like, are you in Canada now? And he's all upset because I guess the State Department was calling him, wondering if I had ever even left the US. Because I didn't surrender this damn thing. So I blame the border guard, but maybe I should. But I just remember being so nervous / excited to get home and whatever. And I didn't even, but I remembered to say, I'm done my visa. I'm done. I'm going home for
You
good.
did your job. You did your
I
job.
did my job. It's that
Yeah.
damn border official. He got me in trouble with Mike O'Keefe again.
That's not a spot you want to be.
No, it's not. So I'm sure if Mike O'Keefe remembers me, I was probably not his all-time
Mike
favorite
O'Keefe
intern.
remembers everybody.
He
Mike,
sure does.
He
Yeah,
remembers
that's
everybody, and he'll probably have 5 stories that you forgot about you.
He probably does. He probably, for sure. And he probably heard more about me than I'm aware of.
Yeah. He's the international stud for a reason.
For a reason.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you mentioned Oak Hill. Tell us about that. That sounds like a bit of a grind.
Yeah, Oak Hill was absolutely, it was awesome. I mean, what an experience. I think every serious turf person should do an internship like that. We were there. So I was there in 2008, and we had the senior PGA championship, and they treat that just like any other men's tournament. I mean, all the what do they call them? Swampers, the PGA swampers that come in or whatever. They come in weeks ahead of time and start setting up everything. And then we're obviously working hard behind them, getting the course ready. I was there 157 days, and I worked 155 of them. They gave me my like token 1 weekend off, and I ended up taking one of the other interns to Niagara Falls to see the falls. So that was, I'm Canadian. I'm Southern Ontario. I've seen the falls 10,000 times. I'm spending my 1 weekend taking a tourist around, but and our average paycheck, I think our average week was 86 hours or something like that. I did the math on it once. I worked 128 hours the week of the PGA, of the senior PGA, but like, it's another level. I mean, compare that to East Park, right? Like, compare that to my $150,000 budget at the little executive course. Is what a scope you get in this business. And so it was. I remember the paycheck was big because the PGA matched our pay for the week or something.
Oh wow!
So I worked 128 hours, got paid for that, and got a nice big bonus from the PGA. So that was cool. As a broke intern student, that was a nice little perk. It's, as I always say, it's something I'm so glad I did. I would recommend it to everybody, but I'm so glad I never have to do it again. It kind of really gave me it gave me a perspective on the industry of where I wanted to be in it. And excuse me, I mean, I come from started on a private course, a beautiful private course called Highland in London, Ontario. And it's one of the best conditioned courses around. And so I started with that exposure, and worked at Riverbend, obviously another beautiful golf course. And I've seen a lot of the high end stuff. And then I also was I was a temp laborer on one of the London municipal golf courses. So then you kind of see that end of things. And so the internship was really kind of a highlight to say, this is the two extremes. And I kind of decided I want to be somewhere in the middle from a family management standpoint, family life standpoint, and stress, obviously. I mean, I have such respect for the guys that run places like that. And I just know it's not for me. I just know it's not where I aspire to be anymore. I'm very happy where I am. And this type of we offer the golfers such a great experience here, and you get such reward out of that, without the insane pressure. Now, getting ready for big tournaments is really cool. I like that. That's something I wish I could do more of. But from a day-to-day standpoint, Oak Hill really kind of highlighted helped me to understand where I want to be in the industry. And yeah, so it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, they're always looking for volunteers, so you can just scratch that itch. Just volunteer for something. You'll be good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So talk about, you've been at all levels of it. So talk about how important that was for you to kind of find out who you are and where you want to be. Like we talked about earlier, the courses come in all shapes and sizes, budgets, you name it. How important was that for you in ultimately finding kind of your happy spot?
Yeah. So I came home from Oak Hill and I went straight to another private course. And that was Riverbend. And then in 11, I felt I was ready for an assistant job. I was IPM tech at Riverbend. And then I went to Sawmill Creek. So you guys had Owen Stinger on the other day. He was at Sawmill, and that's where I went. I went there in the good old days before it had grown over and everything. I don't know if you remember that conversation, but that was my first assistant job, and that's I would say like a mid to high level public course, right? And I worked for just a beauty of a superintendent, Jamie Downton. He's out of the industry now, but he was such a great boss, and we this was like in peak recession time for golf, and so we were making filet mignon out of ground beef. We had to, because we were surrounded by residents in the homes there, and they had really high expectations, and so we had to really try and push a dollar. And I remember thinking how rewarding that was, and how I got so much more reward from that than trying to sort of maintain perfection. And that's something that at the really high end private courses, you let something slip and it gets noticed. But if you're at a lower, a mid tier place, they really notice when you started elevating things. And those are sort of two different ways to come at it. And I got so much reward from the membership there. Sawmill's membership was so great, and they appreciated us so much, and I just loved that about it. And the next year I went to Pine Knot in London. We wanted to move back home, and so I went to Pine Knot in London, and it's a similar type of a thing, sort of an environment there. And I loved my time there, and the golfers were just so appreciative of the efforts that we were putting in. To sort of take something that was maybe an 8 out of 10 and bring it up to an 8.5 out of 10. And, that really gets noticed. And then we opened the garden center. So it was really the garden center. The time that we had the garden center was where all the life changes happened. We got married, we had kids, etc. So then when it was time to get back into the business at a superintendent level, I really had a lot of priorities to sort of balance and navigate and say what's important to me. And I could not at that time see myself going back to somewhere where the expectation was 90-hour weeks and whatnot. No, I put in long hours in the peak summer when it's really demanding of me, and my wife understands, and it's a really good relationship that way. But the demand isn't as high, and it allows me to be more. To be there for my kids and to be home more and there for more dinners and things like that, which, as I said, I mean, I have nothing but respect for the guys who grind it out like that. But it just, at that stage in my life, I was 30 something years old. It wasn't something I could see myself going back into. So that kind of helped to make the decision for me at that time.
You weren't in your Bobby Big Wheel phase anymore?
Bobby Big Wheel. I forgot I told you that story. Haven't heard that name in a while. I was Mr. Keener. I was at Highland. Graham Shouldice, absolute gem of a human being, just recently passed away. Anybody in Ontario has probably heard that name. He was just a wonderful guy, and he was the one that kind of inspired me to want to be a superintendent. So I was his little teacher's pet, and they used to call me, Graham Jr. and all those kinds of names, and I took it as a compliment, whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was the only sort of non-hockey player on a big crew of jocks that all, I got along great with them, but they were always ribbing me. I was always the butt of the joke, so which is fine. That's the story of my life. I've always been the butt. But anyway, one day, Graham, everyone else is pushing cores, aerifying, and dumping them into the back of gators and stuff like that. And Graham chooses me to get the easy job of driving the tractor back and forth to the dumping the cores, or the nursery is where we were dumping them. And they're all just glaring at me. They're like, who's this guy think he is? Right. And I come up, the one who I think was on number 2, and I come around the corner and I stop, and I must have just this permanent shit-eating grin on my face, like just this smug. I probably didn't even realize I was doing it. And Matt Deans, who's I believe he's still the assistant at the Hunt Club, he looks over, he's like, check out Bobby Big Wheel over here. And the whole crew of them just bust a gut laughing at me. And it all goes, oh, Bobby, take it easy. And then that name stuck. And I was Bobby or Big Wheel or Bobby Big Wheel for the rest of the summer. And it was not meant as a compliment, but that's okay. Look at me now. I drive all the tractors now.
No, you need that sometimes though, and it's good that you're able to take it. Not that bullying or picking on people is the right
No.
way, but
Oh,
for
it
the
wasn't
camaraderie and
bullying.
stuff, it's good to have some of that sometimes, right?
Absolutely takes you down a peg. It wasn't bullying. These guys are all beauty. Actually, one of the main guys that was in that group is was the best man at my wedding. He's still my best friend.
There you go.
So he obviously didn't hurt my feelings too much. So, but no, it definitely kind of made me go, okay, maybe I'm a little bit too keen, and I need to slow it down a little bit. So, yeah.
So I'm always curious, Bryan, guys like you that have been at all different levels, all types of courses, talk about some of the similarities and differences.
Yeah, I mean, I was prepping for this podcast. I was telling Adam, I was a little nervous. You can tell I'm a little red faced here.
We're very intimidating. I can understand, Bryan. So intimidating.
Just always remember, Bryan.
You're lucky I put pants on today, although I can't prove it. So
I'm not wearing pants right now at all. Actually, that's how I'm staying.
Wait, so none of us are wearing pants right now?
It's a party, boys. No, so I was just kind of, this is nerdy as hell, but I was doing voice notes to myself, trying to like think of stories for you guys so that I would be a little bit interesting to talk to, hopefully. But that was one thing that I kind of took out of all my experience. And I won't say anyone's names, but there was bosses that I had. And I used to say, it's just as important to learn how to do things in terms of management as it is to learn how not to do things. And I think we all, if you've come up through the business, you've been sitting there on your machine, just kind of pissed off that you're being asked to do something in a way that you don't think is the way to do it. And now in retrospect, I look back on that and think, okay, maybe I was being unfair to that guy. But I remember just thinking I learned there's one guy in particular in my past where I think, okay, he taught me a lot of how not to manage people, how not to treat people. Even just the monotony of putting someone on the same job every single morning. This is just one example, but you hear the crew talking and being like, why doesn't he put me on something else from once in a while? I can do everything here, and he puts me on the same job every day, and you see how that kind of hurts the morale. And so being exposed to sort of not the greatest managers is as important as being exposed to the Jeff Corcorans of the world and the guys who manage these intense operations. And so that's one thing. And the other thing is, and I think everyone will agree, that one thing that's really cool about being part of these communities is you do have all the same experience. It's just at a different scale. And so we've all dealt with that member who's upset that you top dressed on their favorite day to golf, or you know what I mean? Like, people who complain that, well, I don't know why they're doing this. Don't they know we have our tournament next week and stuff like that? It's like, yeah, but then there's another tournament after that. And there's another tournament after that. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter what level you're at, you're going to deal with those types of complaints and sort of unrealistic expectations. And at the real low end, like I was thinking of an example the other day. At East Park, we had 2 triplexes, one T-mower and one greens mower. And if one of those 2 triplexes is down, guess what? Suddenly they're a multi-use machine, and you're mowing greens in the morning and you're swapping reels, mowing tees in the afternoon, and that type of thing. So those types of things might not happen at the high end. And even at the mid end where I'm at, like, if one of our fairway mowers goes down, we have 3 others. So it's not quite that tight, but those are challenges that you really only experience at the low end, or the lower budget end, I should say. But then the scale just scales up to, in terms of expectations from the members. It's just, 50 dandelions per acre might be acceptable to the public course golfer, but 1 dandelion per acre might not be acceptable at the higher end. So you're all dealing with the same stuff, just a different scale. And Pythium knows no budget. It attacks without prejudice. So diseases and stuff. Of course, the weather. Obviously, you can't. We all deal with the weather no matter what. Um, we had a little mini twister come through here 2 seasons ago, and it took down 6 of our trees on 12. But there's a course nearby here that lost like 50 trees, and I mean, it doesn't matter what your budget is. That's going to impact your ability to get the golf course ready for people when you got to suddenly clean up 50 trees. So, yeah, the really neat thing, and I'm the I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm actually one of the admins for the Golf Course Maintenance Uncensored page on Facebook. I don't know. It's got like 50,000 members or so. It's one of the bigger ones on there. And I didn't start the group, but Matt Morton did, and I just joined on to help him kind of manage the traffic. And one thing that's really cool when you're on that page is if the odd time we let someone slip in who's not a superintendent or isn't a turf employee, they don't have to be superintendents, but we try to keep it to just people who are involved in maintenance. And the odd time you'll get some greens committee chairman sneak in there, and he'll start, well, I noticed that my superintendent does this, and I think it's ridiculous, and blah, blah, blah. And you can tell he's looking for the other people to be like, yeah, you're right, that's terrible. But in reality, what we all do is just pile on that guy, and just we all
Get
come
out of here.
Yeah, exactly. We all come to the defense of the superintendent, who we don't even know. We don't even know who this guy is. We don't know what his budget is. We don't know what he's dealing with, what resources he's dealing with. But we all default to defending that guy because he's probably doing his best, or he probably has a very good reason for doing that. And you, Mr. Greens Committee Chairman, armchair superintendent, don't have any clue why he's doing it, and you're looking for us to dump on him. But in fact, we're all gonna come to his aid, and that's people from there's Canadians, Americans, Aussies, Brits. We're all in there going, you don't know what you're talking about. So it's just that sense of community is really cool, no matter what scale of golf course you're at.
Great answer.
Yeah, that's huge. Okay, so something a little bit different this week. A quick announcement for all the Ask the Agronomist lovers. We will actually be taking this segment on the road this week to the GCSAA trade show in Orlando with, of course, the Andersons. Dr. Tony Goldsby from the Andersons will be at their booth, and you can stop by and ask your agronomy question and have it answered on the spot or on an upcoming episode of the podcast. While you're there, you can also enter to win an Anderson spreader just by visiting the booth. If you're at the GCSAA next week, make sure the Andersons booth is on your list. Come meet Tony, ask a question, and be a part of the show. So I wanted to ask you about actually working on the course. Obviously, you have a lot of different experience, and it seems like you're pretty hands-on with everything. So is there something or a few different things that you like to do that's sparks a lot of joy for you?
I'm currently welding a snowplow back together because my mechanic's on holidays and our snowplow blade busted. I love doing that kind of thing. Yeah, my it's a cheapy plow. It was supposed to last 1 season until we got a new loader, and that was 4 seasons ago. So we're still using this cheap plow. Yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes. But I love that side of things. I love work building things, fixing things. I am ADHD to the max, and so even just sitting here is a lot for me, but
that's why you see me constantly going bouncing around in my chair too. I get it.
This business is so good for me, and that's what I realized in my time in sales is I can't sit at a computer and clack out emails all day. And doing IPM, Adam, where I'm very thankful you're distracting me from that, because I should be sitting here doing IPM right now. And I hate that time of year. I hate sitting still. So I am definitely hands-on because I don't want to be in my office is an absolute pigsty all summer long because I'm never in it. I come into my office, drop my whatever on the table, drop my gloves or whatever, and off I go. And I'm on to the next thing. So I love to be out there. My favorite job in the summertime, I kind of stay moving around and checking things out and whatever. Sprayer, I'll get on the sprayer a lot. But in the fall, I love blowing leaves with the buffalo. That's
Oh yeah.
it's by far the most like instant gratification job there is. It's so, unless it's really windy, and then it really sucks. But
That is tough. Yeah.
if it's really windy and the swirling November winds or whatever, they can suck. But putting a buffalo blower on, tunes in my ears, just going up and down the fairway, take a fairway that's absolutely covered in leaves, and when you leave it, it's perfectly clean. That's the job I always give myself in the morning, because it keeps me nimble. It keeps me so that if I get a call that says, "Hey, I'm over on 14, I need your help," I can bail and go help, right? So, but that's the one I like to do, and I like to operate the big equipment too. I like to run the skid steers and the excavators when they need it too. So,
Boys and their toys.
Hmm.
absolutely, never too old for it. And I just try and avoid digging holes by hand anymore. So I got a bad back and I'm old and out of shape, so I hire a guy to do that. But I'll come along and be like, "Put that pipe over there." "Yeah, you got it." And then off I go. I don't get in the hole with them as often as I used to, but I still enjoy all aspects of the job.
So along those lines then, Bryan, kind of as you elevate throughout your career from intern, assistant, now you're that, the top dog there. Talk about the evolution of, I guess, your responsibilities, if that question makes sense, and kind of how you handle maybe not doing some of the tasks that you enjoyed and the reason why you started, and now maybe doing a little more administrative stuff. How do you kind of handle that transition as you work your way up the ladder?
It's funny because I think everybody who gets into this business does it because they like cutting grass. And then the further along you get, the less grass you cut, and the fewer machines you get to be on. And a lot of the machines that you're on aren't that much fun. Like, I mean, spraying is fine, but I'd rather be mowing greens or fairways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the further along in the career you get, and this is what I always say to the guys, like I'm fortunate to have had a few people who have come up under me and been interested in the career over the years. And I always said, just so you're aware, focus on why you love the business. And if you love the business because you like to sit on a machine and mow lasers, you might have to learn how to admire lasers from a distance, because you're going to be the one driving past it in a golf cart as you're on your way to the clubhouse to meet with the GM or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, what's great about this level, I think, is that I do have to be a working superintendent. I'm not at the level where I never get my clothes dirty. I'm in the office all the time. I'm not at that type of a golf course, which I really enjoy about the club that I'm at here. And I think it really strikes a really good balance for me personally, at least. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that you kind of adjust to as you're going through the business. You go, even when I was an assistant and I'm looking around the room and I'm going, okay, he gets to sit on a mower all day. He gets to, and what do? I'm out in the rocks and the concrete clay digging up an irrigation leak or installing a drain tile or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really worth the extra $2 now or whatever it was back then, but it's got to be a passion. I mean, you have to be passionate about the industry as a whole, because I think when you get to this level, I mean, my position, you have to be able to not just manage people and enjoy managing people. You have to do so many different things. You have to wear so many hats. And I think the only people who really make it to this position and stay here are people who enjoy doing all aspects of the job. And I think naturally, as people get older, they maybe want to do more of the indoor stuff and less of the hard work outside, but that's, not always true, obviously. But I really, really thoroughly enjoy the people management aspect of it. I thoroughly enjoy the planning and the aspiring, when you're driving around your golf course and you're thinking of what you can do. Not all of it can be done tomorrow, but then the planning and the pitching, making that pitch to your ownership to say, here's what I'd love to try and do, and here's why I think it's a good idea. But I don't like everything. I don't like doing IPM. I don't like sitting down with payroll and all that stuff. But so there's definitely aspects of it I don't love. But again, I can be like squirrel, and I can put myself on a mower and go out and mow grass for an hour if I need to scratch the itch if I really want to. So yeah.
I love it. And I love how you mentioned the passion there too. And one of the things that stuck out to me from your questionnaire is that you actually have known that you wanted to do this for a long time. And I don't think that's common to actually be, a young kid and say, I want to grow grass for a living.
Yeah. I literally, I joked there was some little report I did for school or something where I joked that my dad had me pushing a lawnmower as soon as I could walk. And my dad's like, you make me sound like a terrible dad. And I was like, well, it might have not been as soon as I could walk, but it was shortly after. I remember pushing an old lawn boy up here.
Yeah.
He had
With a diaper on.
a bright green lawn boy with a white, you can probably picture those old things. And I'd be pushing it like this. I probably wasn't actually cutting grass. This is probably a foggy memory of mine. But then very soon, once I was an adolescent, once I was 11, 12 years old and I could safely push it, that's when my dad taught me like straight lines. And when he said don't cut corners, what he meant was when you're done mowing, don't just randomly walk across your grass to get your mower back to the shed. You got to follow your lines so you don't leave tire tracks in the middle of your grass. So I'd be doing diamond patterns and flipping the weed eater over and putting edges on and everything like that. This is when I was like 12 years old. And then soon I started pushing my dad's mower up and down the street looking for business. And I funded the majority of my milkshakes and candy bars when I was a kid by mowing grass. I made good money back then. Like we're talking probably the mid 90s, and I was bringing in like $200 a week as a 12-year-old. Like
nice.
it was good. Yeah. I have nothing left to show for it, but I mean, back then I was a baller. And so then my dad, so the kind of cool story is my dad actually worked for Graham Schuldice at Highland when my dad was a kid. That's how long Graham had been there. And so he called up Graham one day and said, do you have a spot for my son on your crew? And so I started, I think it was 15 or 16. I can't remember. And I think I was 16. And I started there for him. And it was just a part-time job at that time. But I remember just looking out. I can even picture, I was on 17 and I had just finished raking a bunker. And I hand raked these bunkers and I turned them into my Zen gardens, I called them. And I looked out at one and I was like, man, this is so beautiful. Everything is just so beautiful. And I kind of decided, like, and I loved golf. I was obsessed with golf. And I was like, man, I would just love to do this forever. And so, yeah, I was at age 16. But my marks were really good. Not to pat my back. I'm not smart anymore. But as a 16-year-old, I had really good grades. And so then when I went to my parents and said, I want to go to school to grow grass, they were like, oh, oh, really? Oh, okay. What about like, you don't want to be a doctor or anything like that? And like, no, grass. I want to grow grass. And it took them a while to sort of come around to that, just because, I mean, it's a tough grind. It is a hard career to first of all, make any money. And all the sacrifices and stuff we make in this business, and they're looking out for their son. They just wanted the best for me, and they wanted to make sure I was picking a career path that was going to be lucrative and be successful and treat me well. And so, yeah, I think I might have even put this in the questionnaire. I had a grade 9 science teacher tell my parents once that I could be a neurosurgeon, and nice. She said, it was Miss Colleton at CCH in London. She said, oh, that Bryan, he's such a bright boy. He could be a neurosurgeon if he wants to be. And my parents never forgot that. So then when I was like, no, I want to be a superintendent. And they were like, I think neurosurgery pays better. But
it doesn't work out as well for the ADHD, though. You be mid surgery and like, oh, I got to go do this. I'll be right back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's a new. Are you wearing a new necklace? As I'm in the middle of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
What am
don't
I
have
doing
this.
again?
I don't have the steady hands for that anymore. But yeah. Anyway, no. So they're very proud of me now. It was a grind, but no. I always call this a vocation. I said it's not a career; it's a vocation. You got to know you got to feel like you're called to it, and that it's
Yeah.
something that you can't live without. And in grade or not grade in 2012, I was starting to get a little burned out. I didn't hate the industry or anything like that. I was tired. It had been a long few years, and that's why when the garden center came along, it was a welcome break. It was just never supposed to be a permanent break. And so it kind of gave me that little, it gave me a lot of perspective, and it reminded me, especially when I had to go back and do other work, sales, sitting on a computer, just typing the same email over and over again. Um, I didn't know how to copy paste back then. No, I'm kidding. But typing the same type of email over and over again.
You would have made a great brain surgeon, not knowing how to copy and paste. Like, just so good.
Yeah, no, I won't say the company I worked for. They're a great company. It's just it was mind-numbing work, and that's when I knew that I had to get back to it. So I had such a passion for it when I was younger. Then I think, as it tends to happen, you just grind and grind and grind and grind, and it seems like it's taking forever. And then once I had been an assistant, I had run a business. I had worn all sorts of hats. I figured, I've got the experience. I'm qualified to be a superintendent now. I don't want to go back to the assistant level, at least for one thing. The hour to go back to a private course or something, the hours would have been crazy. And so that's when I was like, I think I'm going to be a superintendent now. And so I made the jump at that point. And I tell all my guys, I said, find something you're passionate about. Find something that you love. And if it's turf, great. If it's not, find something that you love doing in your life. And then I said, but while you're here now, you have a part-time job here or a full-time job for the summer. Find something that you take joy in from everything that you do on the golf course. And I said, I used the example of me calling the bunkers the Zen gardens at Highland. Everyone hated raking bunkers, but I just decided to love it. One day I was just like, I'm going to do this almost every day. I might as well try and find a way to love it. And I would call them my Zen gardens. I would just make perfect, and I would stand back. And the other thing was Highland had really good playing privileges for the staff. So I was like, I might be in that bunker later. I probably will be in that bunker later. So I don't want to be like ashamed of the job I did. So I tell my guys, try and find, whether it's, we all get into the ego match of who mows the straightest lines and stuff like that. So even if you take pride in the striping that you're doing on a collar or an apron or something like that, or if you take pride in how nicely you edge that yardage marker or whatever, and it doesn't matter how menial the task is, if you do it with your best foot forward, and you can sit back at the end of the day and you're tired and you're sweaty and you're dirty and you go home and you just feel good about yourself. I just think that works for everyone. I think everyone can take some joy out of that in this business.
A good dose of friendly competition coming right up. The GCSAA Golf Championships are presented by Toro, who is a proud partner and sponsor of not only Turf Today, but the GCSAA. Whether you're participating or spectating, there's no better way to kick off a week of education, experiences, and the GCSAA's 100th anniversary celebration than a few rounds of golf. Plus, don't miss your chance to win a Vista vehicle at the Toro Par 3 Shootout. We will see everybody down there in Orlando, January 31st through February 2nd.
So expand upon this. You took a break. You got away from it, and you obviously wanted to get back in. What's the new perspective for you, having taken that time away from it and now back in this business? What's the fresh perspective for you?
COVID laid me off. I didn't have a choice but to try and find something new. And I sat down there at the Indeed.com or whatever, and I said, where do I want to go from here? I had sold cemetery and funeral arrangements for 3 years, sold cemetery plots, and
Very uplifting.
yeah. So it was a good job, but the hours weren't the best, and so I moved on to selling advertising for a little while. And then when I got laid off from COVID, I was selling IT services. So selling 3 things that I wasn't particularly interested in, and then when I'm sitting there looking at where can I go from here, I have 2 skills. I have turf, and I have that I'm a decent salesman. I'm personable and can usually communicate pretty well. So those are my 2 skills. Where do I want to take them? And I went, F it. I'm tired of being in an office. I'm tired of this, and I want to go back. The only thing that kind of stopped me was I was a member at Highland now at this point. I got to play Highland whenever I wanted. I got to be a member, get treated like a member, play in the men's league, do all those things that I loved doing at that time. And I was like, okay, I know, because I know the business. Once you go back to the superintendent level, you might get to play your course a lot, but it's not like being a member at a private course anymore. And I said to myself, like, do I want to give that up? So that was the one sort of major sacrifice in my sort of lifestyle that I made, was not being able to play as much golf anymore, or as much golf as I'd like to. But I think it was pretty clear to me at that point that I grinded out for a while, and now I wanted to be back where I belonged. And so then when I went to East Park, like, you know, from a budget standpoint, I mean, it's a lower budget course. It is what it is. But I wanted to bring, and people love it, and I loved it. I have such a warm place for East Park, but I wanted to take my perspective to East Park, and I wanted to show them what little touches we could do around there to make that place feel high end, and so or higher end. And so my perspective became like, that became my kind of mission. Like, let's see how much change I can make here, and let's see what kind of signature I can put on this place. And I think I did. I mean, they actually changed their branding because of some of my suggestions and things like that. So I kind of left my mark on the place a little bit. But it really, the time out of the business definitely put into perspective what I missed about the business, and certainly highlighted my ADHD when I was out of the business. So it was like being a teacher or being a student and getting the report cards from the teacher that said, Bryan is a very bright boy, but needs to learn to sit still in class and stop bothering his fellow classmates and stuff like that. These are the notes I'm getting home from my son's teacher now. And he is little Bryan, that's for sure. And you know, I was getting those notes from my bosses. I was getting called into the office being like, hey man, like, you're doing fine, your sales are fine and stuff like that, but you just got to stop chatting so much, and you got to stop bugging people because they're trying to get their work done. And I felt like I was getting scolded, like I was a, 10-year-old again, getting scolded for walking around the classroom when we were supposed to be doing my math lesson or whatever.
Did you have to sit on one of the exercise balls when you were in school then?
No, I got my desk moved back to beside the teacher's desk, though. I remember that.
That's a good one.
Mrs. Hannah, grade 6, she moved me right beside her. Yeah. And then I had to keep my desk clean because she could see right inside my desk. So I had to always keep my desk clean. That was the worst part of it.
Well, if the superintendent thing doesn't work out for you, you've got some artist skills as you've showcased there. So,
that's freehand too. I didn't even.
Those 45s look money on that logo. Those
Definitely.
45s look so good.
Yeah.
No ruler.
Didn't even get the protractor out or anything.
Well, this has been awesome. To be honest with you, the way that Bryan and I kind of see it sometimes is if an interview is very quick and that our hour flies by, and that's a very good thing. And I looked up and saw that it was like 12:25, and I was like, oh my gosh, I thought we were half an hour in. Like, I couldn't believe how quickly this was flown by. And Bryan, I think you've done a fantastic job. Like you just said, being a people person and communicating is one of your strong suits. So doing something like this, there should have been no nerves whatsoever. You did a fantastic job.
I'm still nervous, but that's I really
that's
appreciate
okay.
that.
That's
Thank
okay.
you very much,
We
guys.
definitely still have a few minutes for you. If you wanted to talk about anything specific, I know you did mention you maybe wanted to talk about the monarch conservation you guys were doing. We've had nobody talk about anything like that on the show
Yeah.
before. So if you wanted to dig in,
Um, yeah, I mean, that's just one thing I think is really important in our industry for the sustainability of our industry going forward. You see how many, at least especially in Canada, how many active ingredients we're losing, and obviously the push on the neonics and just the push back from the public of golf courses are if you read it online. Uh, People just hating on golf courses for using up resources and whatever. And we know better, of course, we know better. And IPM, I think, on that note, is a huge. I think it's an awesome thing. It's just a pain in the butt to do. That's all. And so we have decided to. One thing that's a passion of my family is the monarch butterfly and preserving their endangered population. This started with my sister-in-law. You can check her out on Instagram, frontyardmonarchs.com, or Front Yard Monarchs is her Instagram handle. And she started hatching the monarchs at home, and she's done thousands now. And so she's really studied their habits, their migration habits, their eating, egg laying habits, et cetera, et cetera. And milkweed is obviously their habitat. It's their exclusive egg laying site is milkweed, and it's right in the name. It's a weed, right? For most of us, but we are blessed, cursed with. I can't even remember last check. It's 25 some odd acres of fescue out here, and natives, I guess, is a more accurate term because they're not pure fescue. But obviously milkweed makes its way into the natives in droves, and so we saw an opportunity to sort of help steward the environment a little bit, and also from an optics standpoint, it reads really well to the golfers. We have signs that say this habitat is this is a no spray zone. We are preserving the milkweed, which is the exclusive habitat for the monarch butterfly or whatever. We have a little blurb sort of explaining that. And then we've got those signs in a few different places. We've also planted some pollinator gardens with some, butterfly bush and the types of pollinator plants that they love. And just sort of getting it out there that we're trying. We're making an extra effort over and above what we actually have to do. We're Audubon certified as well, but we go that extra length to say we don't maintain these areas because they don't need maintaining. They're out of play. We pick areas that are really just visual. If anyone's hitting their balls in there, they've hit a terrible shot. So we pick these areas and they might not look as well kept, but they're really pretty when you get in there and you see all the butterflies. I mean, that's really neat.
Yeah.
And so my wife is really into it, and she'll actually take the chrysalis, and she takes them from where they've been laid, and she ties a little fishing wire onto them, and then she hangs them so that she can monitor them, and she'll actually put them in the clubhouse at the front desk, and they'll hatch right in front of people's eyes. And then people are hooked. We've got members who do it now. We don't have members. We don't have membership here, but we have regular playing golfers as well as some of the starters and rangers who are just fascinated by the whole process, and they've now taken to doing it as well. And I'm not the right person to ask about all the biology and the life cycles, but I do know
we're
when
not
I'm
going to
supposed
ask you
to
about
go.
all that stuff. So
No,
don't
please
worry.
don't. Please don't. But
We got 30
yeah.
minutes left. If you could dive deeper, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put on the neurosurgeon hat.
No, but it's really neat, and it's one of those things. Like once you get to know the monarchs in their cocoons or their chrysalis, you can tell within seconds when they're going to emerge. It's called eclosing, and when they're going to come out. So you can be like, hey, guys, come here. It's about to happen, and you can actually get like the staff and the golfers who are in the area. Sarah will like call them over and be like, watch, and this thing will come out of its chrysalis right in front of them, and then they just think it's the most amazing thing. It's really weird. They have to sew their tongue together. Their tongue comes out in two pieces when they come out, and they have to sit there and sew their tongue together. it's wild. And then they spend 2 to 3 hours waving their wings to breathe oxygen into their wings so that they can fly away. And so
you
that'll be
sound pretty knowledgeable about this, Brian. You're not giving yourself enough credit.
Those are the 2 things I know. I just told you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's your party trick, huh? You go to everyone like, did you know butterflies have to sew their tongues together?
Fun fact. So I mean, we get people on board with it, and it's just, to me, like, I wish people understood more that when it comes to pesticides and things like that, we don't use anything because we want to. We only do things because we have to. And if the expectation is here, then that's what we have to do. If the expectation's here, we don't have to use as much. And I've sort of taken to kind of just forcing my way into showing, like, around here, there are areas we don't have to maintain. And then we can sort of preserve those a little bit. And I think anyone who's worked in a golf course, especially a parkland style course with lots of trees, you see the nature, you see the wildlife. It's one of the best parts of being here. But a lot of the public perception is that they're barren wastelands with no microbiome happening in the soil because we've smoked it all out with all our pesticides. And there's not a bird in the trees because Silent Spring, DD or DDT, is that it? Yeah. They hear all those stories from days of old when they would just smoke the crap out of the farm fields and stuff, and they think that that's what we're doing here. And I mean, golfers don't so much, but non-golfers. And so I think part of what we do as sort of stewards of our environment around here, we want to showcase that. We want to show people that we are doing that and we are making that effort.
Yeah, it's outstanding, man. That always drives me nuts. The people that have no clue, they're going to pass judgment on it and make assumptions. It's like one of my favorites is, water. Oh my gosh, all these pesticides are rolling in, blah, blah, blah. It's like every golf course you go to pretty much, test the water when it comes in, test the water when it goes out. It's always cleaner when it goes out. Oh,
absolutely.
It just blows my mind.
That was Actually, I just thought of this as you guys were talking. I didn't even prep for this one. I've been told
off the cuff.
It's just totally off the cuff. My, call it thesis or whatever, for my my senior years of the Chats degree, I wrote a 50-page paper called "The Perceptions versus Realities of Golf Course and the Environment," or something like that. Can't remember what the title was. But it was, one of the things was pointing that out, that turf is one of the best natural filters for rainwater and the best erosion control and all kinds of that stuff. And then not to mention the carbon fixation and things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of junk science out there, and that's kind of what the paper revolved around, was a bunch of different examples of junk science in the media, and how it, the phrase, "you can't put spilled coffee back in the cup." Once it gets out into the media, it's really, really hard to recover that information, especially if there is a couple bad actors out there making the rest of us look really bad, and it doesn't matter. They can hear one story that happened, 3,000 miles away, and they're going to apply that story to every single golf course in the area. And so it can be a tough battle from that perspective. So I just think we have to do what we can to show that we're not the bad guys,
Just got to keep telling our own stories, right?
Yeah. And
don't let anyone else do it for you.
That's right.
That's right. Well, Brian, this has been amazing, man. We can't thank you enough for your time today and, all of the great stories and insights from yourself. Is there anything else before we let you go?
I didn't get a lightning round.
Yeah,
do you not do the lightning round anymore?
That's a good point. We haven't done the lightning round in a couple episodes, but it will be coming back. So
I'm glad, because I was nervous about it.
Were you? It does spark some nerves, and
because I'm like, what if you got to think fast, you got to blurt things out. I was worried.
Should we just do one off the cuff here? Can we just come up with some?
Brian,
you want a PS5, all right? So favorite PS5 game?
Yeah. Favorite PS5 game? Well, right now I'm entertaining my son with, what's it called? Astro's Playground. That's really all I play, because my son wants to watch and I can't play Call of Duty in front of my 7-year-old son.
Yeah. Yeah. He hasn't
get
gotten
there,
into
though.
like he hasn't gotten into the Fortnite yet.
No, he doesn't know, and what he doesn't know won't hurt him. We keep him away from that stuff for now. I mean, I'm not
Now,
going to have a choice.
yeah.
Eventually, his peers will influence him, but for now, I can keep him away from it. Not much of a lightning round so far, so that's fine.
How many life cycles are there for a butterfly?
Two,
Ew.
I think.
Nice. Nailed it.
Final answer. I
My
love it.
sister, my sister-in-law is going to be like, "Oh, you idiot!"
Yeah, I love it.
Well, the lightning round is definitely a work in progress, but we'll see it again. So,
Oh yeah. No, this has been awesome, Brian. Really appreciate you coming on here. This has been a lot of fun sitting here chatting with you today.
Thanks, guys. This was a ton of fun. I was sweating a little bit, but I appreciate it. It's lots of fun.
just to chat
Just
at
to
the
chat
shop,
with
right?
buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The only
I
way it'd get
appreciate
better
it.
is
Yeah.
if we had beers in hand.
That's right. I might just have to go get a beer now, though, because
There you go. There you go.
that's the nerves.
It's cold. It's quiet out there.
Yeah. That's right.
Put some
All right,
pants
guys.
on and go grab a beer.
Nah, it's not that cold out.
Love it. Love it. Awesome,
All right.
Brian. Thanks again, man.
Thanks, guys. Take it
All right.
easy.
All right,
You
take care,
too.
brother. Have a good one.
Bye now.
That was awesome.
Yeah, what a beaut. That was great.
Just a hardworking guy who's always had, passion for the industry, and it's great to see that he found his way back there and his family's involved and everything. It's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, no question. That's the best thing about what we get to do, Adam, I think, is getting to meet guys like Brian. I would have probably never come across him, otherwise. Unfortunately, don't get up to Canada a ton. But yeah, just the opportunity to meet with him and chat for a little bit. I mean, guys, he was fantastic. What a great interview.
Yeah, no, he's a ton of fun. And if you're ever up that way, that Windsor area, I'm sure you could reach out to him. He'd host you and, get to hang out with you because he seems like he's one of those guys that loves the camaraderie. I know we didn't get into it a lot, but he loves his association meetings and events and stuff like that. So he's still very involved. And I think it's something that's pretty common with people once they get a little bit older. And I'm finding this myself now that now that I have kids, and you really, you have dreams and aspirations and you really want to go after things. But at the same time, once your life changes and you are a parent, your life goes through that big shift. So now it's about, well, how do I take care of my family and also still live out my passion and my dreams? And I think he's a perfect example of someone like that and still able to kind of do his thing, but, doing everything for his family at the same time. So I love that.
Yeah, he found the right fit to where he's able to do all the things that he wants to, right? Nice job where he doesn't have to work and be there 80 hours a week and gets to spend some time with the family, bring the family out to the golf course. It's awesome. Good for him.
Mm-hmm. I think he needs to set up a PlayStation in his office, though. That way he actually get a chance to play it.
Yeah. That way he can play the games he wants to.
Yeah. No, he's doing that IPM. I think we've talked about it on the show before, but in Ontario, you have to record every single thing that you spray and you put out, and that's in your shed, and it's very, very time consuming. And so some people either do it as they go, and some people just decide to leave it till the winter because they're not doing much in the winter when there's snow and stuff. So that seems like he does it that way, and it just leaves for a busy month. And so I know when we used to do it in Ontario, and then I moved to a course in Quebec, and it wasn't a requirement. It was like, oh my gosh, thank God. So a little bit of good and bad. But the other thing, though, my super in Ontario used to always say, like, this is so good because everything's recorded. So if anybody wants to say anything or call us out on anything, it's all documented. And so it's a good way to learn and manage your stuff.
Well, and there's a lot of apps now that kind of take care of a lot of that stuff for you too. Mm-hmm. So, leverage technology.
Definitely. Hopefully it's a little bit easier, a little bit more user friendly. But if he's still learning how to copy and paste, who knows?
Yeah. That was awesome. Good stuff.
That was a great one. That is going to do it for us. Another awesome episode today. Thank you so much to Bryan for his time. My goodness, what a guy. We'll have to do that again with him. Check us out online, turftodayshop.com, for all of your merch. There's been some cool stuff up there. I've been getting some great reviews from people who love the new hats. The Turf upside down hat is a popular one. And then our hoodies. Our hoodies are not very expensive, and they are some of the most comfortable, well-worn hoodies that are out there for some of these things. Like our original our first Turf Today gear that came out was such bad quality because you're trying to put it out, you're trying not to charge very much, you're trying to make a little bit of money, but it just doesn't work that way. These days we put out our merch, we really don't make any money. We're just trying to get the logo out there, let people have something to be proud of. I get a lot of people that are proud to wear the logo when they're working, or they like having the stuff on. So it's definitely something to check out. And yeah, the hoodies are beautiful. Get yourself a hoodie. They wear well. You'll have them for a long time. And the hats too. Why not? turftodayshop.com. That's going to do it for us this week, everybody. Keep those reels as sharp as possible.
I wanna know your dark side. I wanna know your secrets. I wanna be your lifeline. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Tell me you're more than just a highlight. Pretty pictures on the outside. I hate to stare at you through these lights. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Oh, oh, this ain't love, no, no. This ain't love, no, no. This is artificial. This ain't love, no, no. This ain't love, no, no. This is artificial.
I wanna know you inside and out. Wanna know what's behind the light. Wanna feel that real love from within. Let me in. I want real love, real heights. You're just enough to get me through, get me through. 'Cause you're officially perfect.